few years ago, I had the opportunity to speak at a retreat in one of the beautiful Georgia islands. I had never been to this particular island, and frankly, I had all but forgotten that two famous brothers named John and George Wesley first landed in the Georgia islands to inaugurate not only what would come to be called the Methodist Church, but what historians call one of the great awakenings which shaped the Christian roots of what would become the United States of America. It's no overstatement to say that the reason that Christians today talk a lot about a personal relationship with God is because George and John Wesley talked about it and showed up prior to the Revolutionary War, telling Americans that God wanted to have such a relationship with them. Imagine this, in a day before PA systems, tens of thousands of folks would gather in fields and forests to hear the Wesleys preach. The first morning of the retreat, I woke up early and I decided to go running just as dawn was breaking. The island, even today, is still largely uncommercialized, so it was peaceful and serene, and I remember so many still weeping willows all around, the sound of my feet padding upon the earth. I followed a particular trail deeper and deeper into the foliage where tree trunks that were 10 feet, 20 feet thick seemed to be as plentiful as grass, when suddenly a structure emerged from the shade there. And I came upon this pristine white Methodist church from the 18th century. Looked like a one-room schoolhouse from a Norman Rockwell painting. And as I moved toward the church to see if I might have a look around, my eyes caught a glimpse of a bronze plaque on one of the large trees. It stopped me in my tracks when I read the plaque. It simply said, "Here George Wesley preached his first sermon in the Americas." Now, that was holy ground. John Wesley's experience of conversion would become the experience of countless Americans from then to now. Although a seminary-trained Anglican priest, he sought a relationship with God that would convince him of his salvation. It happened during a reading of the introduction to Martin Luther's commentary on Romans by the Moravians at Aldersgate Street in England. This is how Wesley describes that experience in his journal. He says, "About 9:15, while he was describing the change which God works in the heart through faith in Christ, I felt my heart strangely warmed. I felt I did trust Christ alone for salvation, and an assurance had been given to me that he had taken away my sins, even mine, and saved me from the law of sin and death."